session.
I thought one, I thought 1 year.
All right. So I have item number 8, and I'll know by Monday, Brian?
Yeah.
All righty, I'm going to call that one ready with a question mark. Councilor Paniagua.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have item 9, and after our committee meeting today, I found that ready.
President, I'd like to thank Councilor Paniagua for having that meeting, and I totally agree with the new framework of the rules and procedures as far as the council goes. So.
Thank you.
And Councilor Caldwell, I'll skip over. She may show up.
She's not coming. I'm going to.
She's not coming? Oh, okay.
So, Madam President, standing in for Councilor Caldwell. She has item number, just number 10.
Good afternoon, Taisha Bird, Commissioner of Parks and Rec. Number 10 is amendment to the ordinance for Onondaga Earth Corps providing training. It's amendment to amend the 50,000 to 55,500. So additional $5,500. Any questions?
Not on the item, but Commissioner, I wanted to recognize your whole team for the really wonderful work over at Burnett Park. The holiday extravaganza is really wonderful and fantastic over there. And it's coming up this weekend too, correct?
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
If you have not made it over to Burnett Park, you should do yourself a favor and go check it out.
And I'll add, even if you did not register for the hay rides, there's arts and crafts, there's snacks, and we have music, so live music. So it's just really pretty. And you can take a picture with Santa. So
Can I sit on his lap?
you can. No. There's a seat next to him, but a lot of folks are just showing up. They haven't registered. They're showing up to look at how nice Tracy has decorated it, but also to take pictures with Santa. So, yeah.
Great opportunity.
Thank
you
you
for doing that.
All set. Councilor Majok.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 11 and 12. You got it?
Good afternoon. Elton Davis, Executive Deputy Chief, Syracuse Fire Department. We have item number 11, I believe, on the agenda. So the Fire Department is proposing and requesting amendment and adoption by the Common Council to Chapter 5 of the Revised General Ordinance of the City of Syracuse, the Amusement, Business, and Public Assemblages section of the ordinance. Basically, we want to add a fee, increase our pyrotechnic fee that we currently charge for pyrotechnics that occur in the city of Syracuse, both indoors and outdoors.
What's the number going from to?
The number is going from, so we're proposing 3 for that section. There are three ones. So one, a minor display, which would be, currently our pyrotechnic fee is $25. Okay. That's for all categories of indoor and outdoor pyrotechnics.
And it's going to?
So there are 3, sir.
Okay.
The first fee is for, one is for $75 per event. This would be for indoor, what we call, what we call cold weather sparklers, things that you see those at weddings, things like that. That is a pyrotechnic event or situation that is regulated by the fire code and also falls up under a general ordinance for state law. That would be $75. We have a second one for a major indoor or outdoor display, and that would be $300 per event. That one, that would be those pyrotechnics that we would see, commonly we would find at just using as an example, the ballpark, those events, the inner harbor fireworks, or any other private entity that put on fireworks here in the city of Syracuse. And the third one would be a special display, and that would just be a $300 fee, but we would go back and charge we would fee the operator or the person putting it on. That would be for events such as we have concerts at the Dome. So when we have bigger concerts at the Dome, that requires more manpower on the fire department's part, monster jam, things along that line. Currently, for all those type of permits, on the books, we're only charging $25.
Alton, what is what's the average number of fire individuals that would need to be on site for something like that?
Okay, so for that, what we propose is we would need one in, depending on the level of the display. For that $75, the first one, all we need to do is just have an inspector come, check this setup, make sure that we have our proper clearances, that we have the equipment that they're using is UL listed, and and also check the fire alarm system in that venue for use inside. For our outdoor ones, particularly related to the ballpark, that will require us to have one person on site, and that goes a little more into it. So we have to receive the application. When we receive the application, that requires a site permit. We have to review, check what ordinance that they're using. So there's a lot that goes into the review of that permit. Subsequent to that, we go out and visit the site, make sure that where they're setting up these outdoors, that the clearances are there, and make sure that the ordinances, when I say ordinance, the fireworks that they're using are the ones that are listed on that permit. And that usually takes probably 2 to 3 hours prior to that event going off. And then subsequent to that, for those outdoor ones, we're required by code that we have to stay on scene for a certain amount of time to make sure that those ordinances are out, that they don't light off at a later time. So that will require one individual to perform that function. But as a courtesy to Syracuse Fire Department, because we have had instances where we've had outdoor fires occur at these type of events, we do send a staffed apparatus to sit there out of service. So we have 4 individuals and a apparatus that sits there out of service just in case there's a mishap that we're right there, so we can respond.
So Chief, when you say out of service, I mean, they would, for instance, they would respond to a fire from there instead of from a firehouse,
yes, sir.
right?
So, yeah, we would take a fire company, usually our closest fire company, and I'm not saying out of service, they're on a detail. So they would be available to respond to any other fire calls in the area, but they are dedicated to be on site for that time during the detonation until after the end of the display, just in case we have emergency or something that requires their services there.
Okay, so Chief, so when the Mets have a home game, so let's say 6:30, you have an apparatus there, and you have the fire hydrant. So they have to sit there for 3 hours sometimes?
So what we do is we have an investigator, or we have a fire inspector that goes down and starts the paperwork. Checking, make sure that the ordinances are correct. The layout is what they put in their application.
And this is every day?
This is at every event,
Yeah,
so that one person goes. So right before before they want to set them off, usually 7th inning or something like that,
Right.
That's when we call our fire apparatus to come and sit there while the detonation goes off. They stay there for a certain amount of time to make sure that all the ordnance is fired off properly, and then they return back to
And when there was the fire, you were already on the scene?
Yes,
Last
sir.
summer, okay.
So,
Go ahead.
No, Chief, I'm just wondering, how much more revenue would he garner predicated on last year's events?
Okay, so
I think that's a lengthy question. We want to hold it for committee meeting. Can it wait, or you want it now?
Oh, it's whatever you want us to do, Councilman
Okay.
Jacques. I know how much you
I have
love
that
those
information
meetings.
available,
and
Counselor.
everything, yeah.
The councilors have a lot of questions on this item, and we don't want to hold the whole agenda. We'll set it up for this week, the latest on Monday, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right? And I'll be in touch to maybe set some parameters as to what we want to see and stuff like that,
Understood.
okay?
Thank you.
All right, okay, you good? All right. Item 12.
Councilors, Rich Trudell, Deputy Chief of Police. We're here to ask for permission to enter an agreement with Drive Media and Consulting. It's basically to hire Lacey Leonardi for the position of Traffic Safety Coordinator to provide education and outreach, to make the city streets safer traffic-wise. Term is from October 1st, 25 to September 30, 26, and we are funding this from a highway safety grant we get from the state.
This is not the first time, is it?
No, I know she did it last year. I'd have to check to see.
I
Yeah.
heard this name.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
this is a renewal.
Okay, and the state keep funding it?
Well, we'd have to apply each year. It's not
Okay.
guaranteed, but so far, so good.
Okay, but so far, so good. Okay. Any other questions?
So Chief, it's 120 from the grant and then 60 local?
So my understanding, it's 60 based on our letter, and the grants, total grants 120. So I can check into that for you and get you a clarification.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? I'm all set, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilor
you, Chief.
Gathers.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 13 through 29.
Hello, good afternoon. Ann Fordock, First Deputy Commissioner. 13 and 14 are for city-owned infrastructure program, if I can say the word. And so that is sidewalks, corners, curbs in need of replacement, and that is city-owned is the key term there.
That would include parks?
I believe,
Sidewalks, or is that would be under parks?
I believe that's under parks.
So that's,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Your sidewalks are not under this. Okay. Parks is a separate, yep.
Any other questions? All right.
So the next ones are 15 and 16, Complete Streets Program. So, Complete Streets is for construction of pedestrian infrastructure, traffic calming, neighborhood greenways, improving bicycle lanes, and related streetscapes. I am tripping over words today. Streetscapes and safety projects.
I know Councilor Williams and I have had this conversation many months ago. Have there been any, I know Neil usually would be the person to answer this question, but any more additional bike lanes on certain streets that we feel like should have bike lanes? Have we ever thought about that as well?
So we have tentative, plans, but is there more bike lanes planned? Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head specifically where that is.
You know what, Commissioner, I probably get this question more than I get any other questions about the municipal sidewalk program, which I was in favor of, and I still am in favor of, is that it seems sometimes along the way, and if we could just get maybe an answer to this question, maybe in writing, is sometimes our contractors replace sidewalks designated by your department that are in perfectly good shape.
So let it.
And I know it might be because of equipment in certain areas and how you manage it as far as tactically, but if we could get an answer to that. I get that
So a
people
lot of
ask that
times,
all the time.
a lot of times it's not up to the current code, right? So if
It
we're
looks good, but it's not up to the curve because
like
it's
if it's not the
wide
proper
enough.
width, correct?
Okay.
So a lot of times that's what it is. Like they may have done it, and maybe they did it 10 years ago, but it still looks good. And if it's not the same width as all the rest of them,
So
we
you
have
wanna
to
make
do
it
the whole
AAD.
thing.
So is the
ADA
width
compliant.
5 or 4? It's 5, correct?
Thank you. I believe it is.
No,
But
No?
some,
because some of them I know are 4.
yeah, sure. We have the engineer coming up here, our city engineer.
Hi, Mary Robinson, city engineer. The minimum width is 5. In certain areas, we can reduce it to 4, but if it's more than, I think, a 250-foot stretch, we have to have a 5x5 turnaround.
Around.
So, but our standard is 5, but we can have short stretches of 4-foot sidewalk to accommodate trees and other obstacles, as long as it's less than 250 feet.
So are we dinging people that have 4 feet? Are we dinging people that's at 4?
We're not. we're not dinging, but if we're coming in and replacing the whole street and they have 4, we're gonna replace it with 5 to bring it up to where it should be.
possible.
Yes, because as Mary stated, it's 5, but there's some caveats.
Yeah, the caveats are for the turnaround. I do
Yep.
understand that because we
Yep.
went through that for a while.
Yep, but they don't get dinged.
So just a reminder, how do you set priority as to what sidewalks get to take?
It's comprehensive. Neil does take a look at these citywide. We like to make sure we represent every neighborhood, that we're not doing everything in, say Eastwood. But he uses data from SMTC. We look at pedestrian traffic. There's multiple layers to that.
I know we've asked for an updated list before. I don't know if I received that, but is it possible to get another updated list of which streets are, which ones are going to be worked on for 2026?
So you're looking for a
Because like
list?
what carries over, what's going to be carried over?
Oh, okay. A list from 2025 of what was done and what's going to carry over?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Also,
24 still, right?
yeah.
I'm not sure. We can check.
Okay. Also, if possible, if we can get I don't know if they would know that now, but if there was any curb cuts or aprons that's going to be curbed up. I know we had some issues with residents who may live on corners or lived
Yeah.
on a hill where they had a minor parking in the front and major in the back or something like that.
Yep.
And that was a concern for people's secondary driveway being taken away. So if there's any of those, can we?
That we know about, yeah. Yeah. I'll have to see if he's aware of those at this point.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm glad Councilor Jones-Rouser brought that up because I get a lot of questions about that. It being an older city, a lot of times, as we well know, a lot of those driveways are put in before the advent of even codes existing. And anytime we curb over a driveway affects not only the people that have that driveway, but the people in that neighborhood, because then they have to compete for space on the street with some car that wasn't there and was parked in a driveway. So if we could get a list of any of those, I have been,
You're
of
right.
course,
It's a
very
good idea to
outspoken about this, and I just
get
don't think
ahead
it's
of
good
it.
practice, so.
And I'll just give an example. My grandmother's home sits on a corner, and there's one side has just enough room for one car, maybe 2 if you angle it. But the other driveway was on the opposite street where you could have got another 2 in there. It's a 7-bedroom house. However, the city came back through a few years ago. I think they just recently stopped it, but they rerouted the bus from the main street onto the side street. So, like Councilor Hogan just stated, that even if they attempted to park on the street, now it's a bus route.
No, the bus blocks it almost then, right?
Yeah, they cut down our family tree on the corner and everything. So yeah, it's a whole thing, but yeah.
I didn't do that.
Budget season. Okay.
It's a lot.
All right, we'll go on to 17 and 18.
17 and 18 is parking garage rehabilitation program. And so this is for regular maintenance of the parking garages.
And I know this one isn't going to you. I'm throwing it out there into the universe, to the entire administration. Can we please come up with a plan for our parking garages
All of them, not one in particular.
citywide?
Well, Councilor Williams, we had a plan, didn't we? Didn't we once favor a parking authority, or weren't you part of that? I seem to remember in your beginning of your tenure.
We need to holistically look at and address parking in our city.
I agree.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
You're not, you're
All right, 19 and 20.
Well, don't need to know now anyway. You don't need to know now, I guess, I don't know.
19 and 20 is radar sign program. And so this is the radar signs that are mounted and tell you how fast you're going when you drive past it. And so this is for 4 of them.
A side note to the radar signage, can we try to get together and collaborate with Krause Hospital somehow? Their crosswalk up there, there's supposed to stop when people are trying to cross on the street. but I've almost seen somebody get hit yesterday, and cars just
They're not
speeding through
yielding
there.
to
Right, correct.
pedestrians.
Greg, would
so-
you like to say something? No.
And, you know, I'd like to thank DPW for taking care of that problem up there at the curb. It's a curb as far as having a hole in it.
Where was it?
Yeah, I'm in front of Crouse Hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did do a good job with that, too. Greg,
So you're thinking changing signage, or
Oh,
are
really?
you thinking enforcement, like police,
no,
or?
the flashing lights, like brighter
Okay.
flashing. They have the older style lights up there, which aren't really too
Yeah.
noticeable, I guess. But
I think they even sometimes have a crossing guard, and I don't know that people stop for them.
I've never seen one up there.
I've never seen a
Did you
crossing
wanna?
guard either.
Okay.
Greg Lowe, Chief Policy Officer. Just an update that we've been in active conversation with Kraus about steps that they can take on the pedestrian crosswalk and steps that we can take. We're prepared to go ahead and update the signage out front. We're also looking at some traffic configurations there that can try to improve the safety of that pedestrian crossing. Some of the things, as I say, Kraus can do and is willing to do, and some things we can do and will go forward with, and they'll be moving ahead fairly soon.
Would
Yep.
the administration look at, like, considering what we're doing in schools as far as, like, the zone and radar and all that in front of Kraus? Because it is a
Well,
pretty
obviously,
situation
You know,
up there.
the automated enforcement matters are state legislated, and the sites are identified in coordination with our legislators. It certainly could be a potential expansion site.
Yeah.
Speed limit is one of the things we're looking at in front of Kraus as well.
It's a very dangerous situation up there.
Any other questions on this? All right. Does 20 go along with that as well, or no?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to 21.
21 and 22 are traffic signal replacement program.
Any questions on this? Okay.
It's basically maintenance of the traffic signals. So.
Councilor Jones.
Maintenance of the current ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I do have I don't know if it's a question. It's not a question. It's more just a statement. With all of the new items that are being pulled in the right-of-ways, a lot of spaces are looking very congested, especially when you have trash cans. Is there a way that we can, like, look at spaces and say, like, we need to move something?
I think
I mean, I see some corners, they have like 4 things on one corner. Some of the items are so close to the ADA accessible part that it kind of makes no sense.
we can certainly take a look. We need to be compliant with what the state laws are, and that's probably the mindset behind these decisions, but certainly we could take a look, see if it's too many in a tight space.
Yeah.
Let me know if there's one
I'll give
specifically.
you locations.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
not today, but I'll take note when I'm writing by.
Any other questions? All right, 23,
Thank you.
or 24 rather? No, 23.
Hello again, Mary Robinson, City Engineer. 23 through 25 are related to our TIP project for Pedestrian Safety Action Plan. We got bids, and they came in a little bit above budget, so we're asking to amend the bond ordinance, the agreement with New York State DOT, and the project authorization for an additional $100,000, bringing the total cost not to exceed 1.937 million. And we did, for the 100,000, we did get additional tip money.
Perfect.
So the reimbursement is 90% federal for this type of funding. It works out to be 6.8% Marchicelli and 3.2% local.
Thank you. 6.8%, Marcia Shelley.
Item 26 is also related to the Pedestrian Safety Action Plan. It's amending the agreement with CNS Engineers to add the construction inspection phase for the contract that I just spoke about. So we're adding an additional $198,000 for a total cost not to exceed $477,000.
Okay.
Item 27 is amending an agreement with Fisher Associates for another tip project, paving Midland Ave from Ostrander Ave to Seneca Turnpike. We're also adding the construction inspection phase to their contract for an additional $400,000 for a total cost not to exceed $989,000. This project's currently out to bid, and the funding breakdown is 80% federal, 15% Marchicelli, and 5% local.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Mary, before you go, what happened with the East Brighton repave project? When is that happening?
We started some work in the fall, but the snow came, so the bulk of the project will be completed next spring and summer.
Okay.
Remind me again, Mayor, is it from Thurber to Seneca, right? Is that?
It's from Thurber all the way down to City Line, but then we're skipping the portion.
Line going toward Lafayette
Yep.
Road? Okay, okay.
It turns into Brighton, actually. But we're eliminating the section that DOTs did work in.
Which is the traffic area? The intersection?
Where the 481 and 81.
Okay, okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Item 28.
Good afternoon, councilors. Robert Brandt, Commissioner of Water. 28, an agreement with Trupani. They will conduct our lead water sampling, EPA required water sampling and mailings for a 2-year contract, not to exceed $43,900 annually, with the possible of 2 extensions.
Are we using somebody currently?
No, it's a different vendor, correct?
It's a different vendor. We put it out for an RFP, like we were asked to. This vendor came in.
About half price.
About half price.
Should have been, anyway. So was any of us on the RFP committee? Does this go through RFP committee?
It did.
Yeah, let's see here. I don't know.
How many applicants applied?
There were 4 or 5, I believe.
Mayor and Helen. 4 or 5. Yeah, I went through the RFP, the Mayor and Helen item.
And this is local or non?
They're not local.
Let's see. 2-year renewal for 2 years.
Okay. Any questions on this?
I mean, it went through the RFP, I don't know, I don't know the information.
I'm sure it did.
That's fine.
I mean, yeah, I went through the RFP, you know, Mayor Helen.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm just asking if there's any other questions regarding this item. All right, 29.
29 is entering in an agreement with GHD for our general engineering services, 2-year contract, not to exceed $700,000 with 2 2-year renewal options with the approval of the council and the mayor.
Any questions?
Wait. What? Oh, okay, go on.
Any questions? Hearing none. Thank you. Madam
Thank you.
President, I'm all set.
Thank you. Councilor Nave.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 30 and 31. 30 is an installation of an honorary sign at the intersection of Pearl Street and East Belden Avenue, designated as Columbus Bakery Way to honor the historic Columbus Bakery. And 31 will be a resolution to recognize Columbus Bakery, an historic Northside business institution, which has been in business since 1895. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Hogan.
Thanks, President Hudson. I have items 32, 33, and 34. On item 32, after our meeting and discussions with members of the City Hall and codes, I'm going to send this over to the Planning Commission and request they consider a moratorium on entities like this that want to establish battery energy storage systems. We think that's the best course for the city, and after discussion with the fire department, the codes department, so they can establish some sort of procedural path where we can approve or deny one of these things. 33 is 33, saying like Owen?
Thank you, Councilor Hogan. Owen Kearney, City Planning. Item 33 is to authorize agreement with EDR, a local planning and design firm, to begin work on the comprehensive plan after the new year. We had worked with them doing some very preliminary work on phase 1. We'd like to continue working with them, and that is why we have included a waiver request to continue that work with them.
EDR they're doing the comprehensive plan for like the traffic, new streets and designs of, or is it everything?
No, this would be basically the city comprehensive plan. It really look at a whole host of issues from housing, infrastructure. It's a broad plan. Typically, communities do it about every 10 years.
Yeah,
We're at about 10 years. Phase 2 is really going to be the kind of the public-facing portion. So a lot of coordination with all of you coming up, or many of you at least after the new year. But and we've just updated all of the materials on the website. So if anybody, happy to talk in more detail about it, but if anybody has more questions, the comp plan website on the city's webpage is really a great resource for that initial information.
Well, I know I've said it multiple times before, but I'll say it again because I have said that the comprehensive plan needed to include this, but for housing, we need to assure that new development includes, for the rental portions, that new development includes 3 and 4 bedrooms possibly, and because our city cannot sustain the development of 1s and 2s that are constantly being built. So I'll say it over and over and over again. So. Okay.
I hear you and fully agree with you, and I think there's a variety of different ways to do that, but obviously the housing strategy, a lot of work's been done by our colleagues in NBD, and this is really a plan to not only include that housing portion, but begin looking at some of the bigger issues that we face and start developing solutions for over the next, looking at kind of a 10 to 15-year time frame.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that when we are focusing on housing, a lot of the density has constantly been thrown around that we need more density, but when you're creating density, you're creating smaller units. And so that is a problem when you're looking at family housing. When you need to house families, you need to house families. Some people, like Councilor Majoke, has a family of 9, possibly 10.
Is there something we don't know about?
Councilor, agreed, and that is, we've got to accommodate all of our residents, and it is those 3 and 4 bedroom units matter.
Yeah.
Counselor, maybe that's something that the CITA could look at as far as their UTEP goes, their tax exemption policy, where they could include that in order to get, and get the benefits from pilots.
It needs to be a part of every new construction. I'm not saying they need to have, half the building, but they need to have that, some units need to include those larger beds.
Understood.
And I want to point out that we got to 2050 to figure this out, so.
Well, the
25
name
years
of the plan is 2050. I think the idea, Counselor, is that it's forward-looking and that it's.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be here in 2050,
Well,
but.
never count yourself out,
Well,
Counselor.
duly noted, Counselor.
Yes, I might be here.
Owen, this conversation came up when we were having deliberation around the SDC. That somehow this massive development takes place, that larger families should be put into consideration, that it shouldn't just stop at 3 bedrooms, that it need to be extended and not, then the developer saw it as something that they were going to incorporate. I think it should be something we look at, as traditionally, this community has always been a place where many people from all around the world are
Yeah.
coming to. And, you know, with the tradition of immigrants, they come with large families.
Yeah.
You know, and here as well. So I think just stopping at 3 bedrooms is really a disservice to people and to Councilor Joan Rouser's point. It's something we should be looking at broadly rather than just single lines.
Agreed. We were talking about this internally at NBD yesterday, just the unit mix and how we can get at that in a more effective manner. So more on that, and I hear you loud and clear. I think that is relevant and is a way to improve some of the housing issues that we're facing. So we'll absolutely include that in the discussion.
Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you,
Owen.
councilors.
On item 34, Councilor Manto and I had talked about this, and I think we're going to hold this for a meeting. Is that okay with you, Councilor? Councilor Williams, still?
Yeah, Michael Collins.
Commissioner, this is.
So someone else with something. Matt Ojai, Commissioner of Assessments, but.
Probably, it's more for Michael, but Mike, can we get a, maybe in the beginning of the new year, can we get a committee meeting set up with the developers from Parkside Commons where they can walk the council in its entirety through what the project will look like?
Absolutely.
Councilor Caldwell, President Hudson, and myself were up there at Parkside Commons. They did some public meetings the last few days.
Yep.
And the conditions up there are not great. If you're listening to the residents, it's a hot button issue.
It is, and we can talk about walking through what they're planning to see, but we need to really talk about what they're gonna do to assist the residents in that different area. I mean, the buildings are pretty, I get all of that, but when you don't have hot water right now, there's a problem.
Yeah, completely agree. I'll give you a couple just nuggets and then get out of the way so we move on with the meeting here. So first of all, obviously, absolutely happy to set that up. And I can work with, I pointed to you guys, I need to actually be working with Nathan and Caleb to do that, so I will. Kimon Jordan was able to attend the meetings as well. I know many of you were able to go. Thank you for being able to go to those meetings. I appreciate it. We do know that they are changing the management company. We also know that the goal right now is the western half of the campus would be rehabilitated, and the two new buildings would be for the people that are on the eastern portion of the campus. The Syracuse Police Department lent their expertise through their officers that are trained in the crime prevention through environmental design, and they went through the design of the new buildings themselves and made recommendations to the architects, and then met with the architects so that from a security concern, we can make sure that that's being addressed as well. But unless you've got any other questions, we'll just set up the meeting.
To what President Hudson said, I think what's happening right now is they have all these promises on the table. What they're doing is they're sticking little Band-Aids on all of the, it's like Groundhog Day. Every day it's my heat's off. I call back the next day, my heat's on, my heat's off, my heat's on. So we can't just wait for it to be rebuilt. We got to do something.
And
They
maybe,
are suffering.
Commissioner, you can answer, is Jake here?
Yeah.
Jake, have they taken care of those hot water tanks up there yet? Do you know?
I actually know if you don't.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so one of them is scheduled to be taken care of today, the other one by Friday. So they're waiting on parts to come in.
Commissioner, is the current management company local?
Current management company is not local. It's owned by one of the ownership partners, and that ownership partner is recognizing that that company is not performing, and so they're bringing in a national company that does these types of projects. So, yeah, the challenge to the point about, hey, putting Band-Aids on it, this is the challenge that we see with any property that's waiting for financing to be redone. That's the way that it works. So that doesn't mean that people should still have to wait for hot water. So there is that, yes, we know that they're going to be Band-Aids, but the Band-Aid needs to be applied. It can't be left sitting in the cabinet. This financing, New York State is looking to move aggressively on this so that they can get the money into the project and get it done as quickly as possible, which at the moment looks like March. And that would be closing on the financing for both the 2 new buildings and the rehabilitation all at the same time. It honestly would be the largest, financially, it would be the largest housing project that we've seen in one single project.
I have another question. I don't know
yeah.
if it's, I don't know if this is you, Jake, or OJ.
We'll figure it out.
The blue building side, the zoning, is that regulated for what they want to do? Like,
It is, they've been meeting with our zoning office, and what they are proposing will work.
Okay, so
Yep.
we won't have to do any zoning change. It already fits.
Nothing that wouldn't be a small administrative kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, but from a zoning perspective, they are, the one zoning challenge would be the size of the building at the northwest corner. If they were not acquiring additional property, they are. That puts them within the amount of square footage that we need to be able to get the project forward.
And I don't want to hold it up, but I did ask them about their parking plans, and they really couldn't answer that. I am aware that they might get waivers to not do like a 1-to-1, but they didn't have any information.
Interesting.
Or was one of the buildings?
One of the buildings has parking in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of the parking what they're meeting requirements with what's proposed so far.
What about that side, that blue building side?
I'd have to go back and take a look. But so far we've not seen we expect to see final drawings submitted shortly to start the permitting process on the construction side. But so far in our pre-development meetings with them, as we catch things that we're like, yeah, that's not going to meet code, they've gone back and they've adjusted.
And the average size per square unit, the square unit size we didn't get that.
We'll see that after we get the final drawings in.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to pass this and then we don't have
Counselor,
that.
I think we're going to have a meeting on this, so maybe we can
are we?
coalesce over.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, so we can
And
say
while-
that. Counselor Manto, you'll take over this?
We'll take that.
Yeah, we'll communicate.
Commissioner, while we're on this topic, what about Skyline? How's that going?
That's a very interesting question. It is going, and we can talk more offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Commissioner, one last word on the subject. Any update on Maria Regina Complex?
Back and forth with developer this week on looking at how to, part of the challenge right now is how do we protect the chapel in a way that allows the development to keeping the necessary historic tax credit while recognizing that the money would not be there to redevelop that building itself in the initial proposal. So that's one of the things that we're working through right now. But yeah, I got an email yesterday from from
I was in touch with Megan on that.
Yeah.
They're still hoping in a couple months to get it taken care of.
Yeah, we're looking to move forward.
Okay, it seems, Commissioner, you're going to have a lot of
Yeah, I was
meetings
gonna-
with the
I'm-
city's councilor after
Okay.
the first of the year.
Council
Okay.
President,
I was trying to get out of here, right? No, that's okay. Go on, City Clerk.
no, I figured you was done, Counselor, unless you just want the whole, floor.
I'm going to put it right off to the new council.
I just want a clarification. Is anyone signing on to Nave's?
I am.
Everybody?
Sure, we all like
Okay,
it.
I'm
We'll
going
all
to
sign it, okay.
They all
That would be
sign on?
great.
Are they
Thank you
bringing
so
bread
much.
and butter to the meeting?
He's not used to paying for food.
I'm in there.
Said I'll bring bread and meatballs.
This is the sign and the resolution, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
President Hudson, I'm
One other
finished.
question for Counselor Hogan. Hogan, I don't know where I was during the special permit when you were talking about it. I think I was talking to one of the counselors. But can you verify what you want done there? You're not.
I'd like to request the Planning Commission to consider a moratorium on these and other projects. And I think that'll give time for the fire chief, as they said at the meeting, fire chief and Jake, to establish some sort of procedure that we can follow with this.
For the record, Counselor, I'm against a moratorium on these type of projects. I think that we can handle it procedurally within the council and within our current operations, that if we elect we don't want to move forward with any projects in the next 6 months, we can do so within this body rather than pushing it back to the planning commission.
Okay, you're noted. I just think as far as I usually rely on the public safety aspects of this, and if the fire chief and the commissioner, the codes director is telling me that they're not comfortable with any kind of, they don't really have a procedure, I think it should go back to the planning commission. And I did, of course, talk to our first assistant corporation counsel, Mr. Berry.
Yes, Councilor. First Assistant Joe Barry. Procedurally and historically, for these special permits, with unanimous consent, we have referred them back to the Planning Commission. Since it appears that there's not unanimous consent, I would recommend that we have a resolution for Monday so that it can be properly memorialized and determined by majority vote.
But if they decide, if majority vote decide to like withdraw it or whatever, they can do that as well.
Not with the special permit, it gets tricky. We'd have to, probably should talk about that in executive session.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
So your recommendation is going to executive session for this item right now, or?
Well, I would recommend, if you would like to go forward with the plan that you stated earlier, that you propose a resolution so that we can memorialize that.
I could certainly have the flexibility as to withdraw this item too, correct?
We should discuss that in executive
Let's
session.
discuss it in executive session because.
Okay.
You can do that today or Monday, or?
Today, we're sort of jammed up after this meeting, aren't we, City Clerk?
It's up to y'all. I mean, when y'all want to discuss it.
I mean, obviously, Councilor Williams is going to vote, you're going to vote against it, correct? So therefore, we're sort of
Do
in
you
an
all have
impasse
time to
here.
vote, to talk about it today? Monday, somebody said Monday. Monday it is.
You want us to come in early before the study session?
After our study
Yeah, after the study session, have a whole hour break and discuss it.
Councilor Hogan, though, it sounds like you would like a resolution for the waiver agenda to advance your recommendation.
Well, I just think that, I don't know if there are votes to approve this. We'd have to vote to approve it, correct? I mean, if we have one pathway closed off to us, which seems like we do, because we don't have a unanimous vote, to go over to the.
A majority can approve to send it back to the Planning Commission.
I thought it had to be, you said it had to be unanimous.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying the informal practice, just directing the clerk to send it back, has been done with unanimous consent because.
So we don't have unanimous
since there's
consent, but we-
disagreement, we should memorialize it with a resolution.
Okay.
And the 5 votes would determine the issue.
Okay.
Counselor, why don't you just wait till Monday and decide after
Sure.
the meeting? No.
Sure, I can also
Is this-
hold,
is
I
this
can
my
also
floor?
hold it too. You know?
We're holding it,
And then
that's
we'll
right,
have the
hold
other,
it
we'll have the new
and let it
council
go
take
on
care of
to-
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
We'll
decide.
wait till Monday and we'll have some conversation on this. Okay, we're finally done with my items here, President Hartson.
Thank you. Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. So I have items 35 through 38. Item 35. Would you mind providing the council a brief update about what we talked about earlier?
Sure. Afternoon, Council. Corey Dunham, Chief Administrative Officer. So we continue to make great progress with the timekeeping rollout. So, as we've mentioned, we have police on board, we have fire on board, we have water up and running, we have parks nearly there. DPW has most of their bigger departments already up on the system. All the departments in City Hall and One Park Place are using the system, have been trained how to use it. And so, we did get, it has been important for us to stay in touch with Josh Syerson, who's been leading this from API, to make sure that from the incoming administration that, there are certain things that he has identified that we would need in order to make the project successful, both in its current state and future state. And so in conversations with Mayor-elect Owens and myself, we have committed to the things that Josh has identified, given his experience with the project, that we need moving forward. So Mosaic will help us, bringing them on board will help us both in terms of getting payroll and HRIS underway. So I know the council has just asked for a vacancy count, which will be me reaching out to each of the departments individually and asking them to email me what number they have. But obviously, if we have an HRIS system, that will be more automated. And so we are just really looking forward to moving on to the next phase of the project. Counselor, I don't know if I answered all the questions.
You did, yeah. One thing that I mentioned to Chief Dunham in our conversation for one of the last times, this council, while we've been historically engaged with the issue, there's been progress behind the scenes that the full council has not been updated on. And I don't think that we will be able to get everyone up to speed by a vote for Monday. And so we're probably looking at the next session. Between now and Monday, presumably you and I can come up with a potential timeline to be able to schedule a committee meeting, updates, how much time you need on your end to be able to put something together, acknowledging that we're going to be bringing on new counselors and kind of onboarding them through the history, where we're at, where we want to go, where we need to go, and maybe you and I can identify what that might look like moving into January.
Mm-hmm. And following up on Councilor Majok's request, we will be providing the council either later today or tomorrow, a handout that establishes what has been accomplished in the timekeeping project. And Councilor Williams is absolutely right. There's been a lot of work happening in the background. And then also, the question of what will the city gain with the next phases of the project? What are the efficiencies? Why are we doing this? What are the benefits? And so that will be delivered to the council either later today or tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Corey.
What's that?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Sorry that you'll be seeing more of me. Okay.
All right. Item 36.
Good afternoon, councilors. Dave Proack, Director of IT. The software that we use that runs our help desk is called SysAid, and this is an annual maintenance renewal. Yeah, short and sweet. That's our annual maintenance renewal. Last year when we moved to their cloud-based model, we put in an estimate of about $44,000 a year for the annual maintenance. And so we're back before you because we've exceeded that with their annual increase.
Dave, for some of us that are not very IT savvy, is there a way you can just, and this may be too much of ask, to kind of list all the software that we are using and have contracted with? Would that be too much?
I'd like to say yes, but I think we can get pretty close there. We're currently compiling what we consider to be the software that is critical to our operations, and we're doing that for two reasons. First, to document some of that, like you asked, but also in case there's an outage with any of these companies, we have the ability to react and maybe let the public know if we can't take payments or something like that. But in terms of a comprehensive list, I think we're probably, a list we could provide is probably 90% there.
Okay, and as you dig deep into this list, I would like to know the cost, what we are spending on that software as well.
I think we can do that, and I think it'll be, again, about 90% of the way there.
Okay, I'd love to see what you can come up with.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll get you something in January. Okay.
Okay.
Joe?
Appreciate it.
Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
For that audit, was there about 40-something different software? Yeah, so, yeah. I was just saying for that audit, it was about 40-something different software. But anyway.
Hi, Vicki.
Hi. Good
Item
afternoon.
57. You want to give us the big picture and then tell us why we're doing this item?
Yeah, as you know, we've been back and forth on pay lock and booting, and council did extend the pre-existing contract for 6 months. We had hoped to be a little further along with some of the other items that needed to be, to really get to where we need to be overall. Ideally, we will be able to, Leah would be introducing legislation to have the school zone tickets be able to be enforced by collections through booting. And with those additional numbers, we would see a better rate on the booting amount and a lower contingency fee for the city. So it's not raising it much for the people who are getting booted and reducing the overall cost to the city. We're not there yet, and we can't do it without getting that legislation through. So what we're asking today is to extend it another 6 months with the existing terms and conditions, nothing changing, and just kind of kicking the ball forward a little bit until we have everything else ready to then proceed with the actual updated contract that we showed you last year, but
So well, we just started it, but the school zone tickets, it would have been just regular, if they came in and paid it. We didn't have a specific enforcement. So now it'll move to, if they don't, it'll count towards their booting.
well, that's the hope. Right now, there is no stated collections process. It's, they either come in and pay it or they don't. And then, so the question is, do we move forward with a collections agency, collections law firm? Paylock is a booting mechanism. How do we enforce collections for those who won't pay? But that's not really what we're deciding
Yeah,
here
we're
today.
just
We're just sort of putting that on pause.
We got 6 months to figure that all out.
They haven't gotten there yet.
Not
Anything
yet.
else? Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Vicki.
Thank you.
And then with item 38, I will be filling a seat on the Board of Assessment Review with Bill Eppolito, replacing Donna Moore, who will be joining us in the council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Councilors Williams, Caldwell, Majuk, and Jones-Rouser.
Items 39 through 41. Evan.
Good afternoon, Councilor Evan Levine, Budget Director. Haven't been up here in a while, so I got to get the right distance. Before you use a request to transfer funds, they are coming primarily from available funds that were in public safety retirement. So we paid our public safety retirement bills. We added extra money in the budget, and they're going to fund the projects listed in the legislation.
What a surprise, you had the extra money. No, so nothing's coming out of the fund balance, correct?
No money's coming out of the fund balance.
So I had, after we last met, I had a sinus infection. I wasn't here, but
I'm sorry.
I know that we were supposed to have, we were supposed to get information on if this was going to be the full amount or if it was just the current payments. I don't know if I saw that. So is this current payments due?
My understanding is these are current payment due, but I will turn it over to probably Jen
Yeah, and Evan, you might
to make sure
want-
that we get the right answer.
You might want individuals to come up and speak per
Yeah,
person.
If people
per
want, on
item,
the program,
yeah.
sure. So we'll start with Jen, and then we can have the others come up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not Janet, you mean, Jennifer?
Jen.
Oh,
You said
okay.
Jen.
Okay, I call her Tiff, to Brian. Brian said, Brian said, do you know that's not her
First
real
name, last name, I answer to a lot of things. Anyway, Jen Tiff, Director of Strategic Initiatives. I think the short answer to your question, Counselor, is it is a combination of obligations we've already incurred and then FY26 amounts that we know we will incur. We could very quickly get you the breakdown of that. I don't have the exact numbers, but I do know like the CVI amount, for example, that entire amount is for work already performed. So all of that is for bills due.
Yes.
The SurgeLink amount, about 30% of it is for bills already due, but the balance would be for the rest of FY26. So I think for each line, it's probably going to be a different breakdown, but this would be the FY26 estimate, essentially.
That is one of my concerns, is the SurgeLink one, because I don't think I would have been comfortable moving the full amount, only what's due, only because we still have to have some more updates on what's going on, and yeah, you know how I feel. So that's the one thing. I do know that the CVI, the lead and the forestry was due. And then, of course, Surgeling had some due. So the ones that were not fully due, that's why we asked for that information, because we wanted to make sure that everything that needed to be paid to date got done, but
Yeah.
not transferring funds that weren't
Okay.
due right now.
I think we'd have to probably just huddle up internally and get you the breakdown, because I couldn't speak to ShotSpotter, for example, and I know.
Oh, that one is, that one is.
Yeah.
It's different.
Okay. We can get that information to everyone.
So, wait a minute, I'm a little confused here. I don't know about you, Joe, for law, as far as, and Evan, how we're gonna.
It depends if you're breaking things
Yeah,
up or
that's
if you're
what I'm
voting on it as is.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You might
So-
need a new letter.
Yeah, so Jennifer, and Counselor Jones-Rouser, are you saying you requesting something to be broken out, or what are you guys saying? So we can kind of be on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, we can do whatever I think you guys want to do, but
The other thing I just want to note is we are just talking about the appropriation. We're not obligated to spend the money once it's appropriated. So if we want to, if the council would act on this transfer, we can obviously work very closely with you to make sure that we're only expending the funds that we're comfortable with. And so we can have a talk offline if there's particular concerns. So if that's it, could be another way we can handle it.
So, but you're saying that, and Jennifer, you're saying that, that if they were to appropriate that amount, the amount outside of, the bill amount, total amount, you guys would be coming back in front of council, to, approve that amount to be used for SurgeLink? Is that, because that's one of the reasons why I wanted it broken up, so we won't have to be here doing what
Right.
we're doing.
Yeah.
We just gotta figure out what we're doing here.
So moving the money to a new account is fine, as long as it's not being,
As long as it's not
sent
being
out
spent.
before it comes back before us.
Okay.
If we appropriate to the new account, do we have control over it not being spent? I don't think so.
Well, we would on the finance side, obviously. We would not necessarily have to pay any invoices. We would have control of that to say, we're not going to spend this money until we're comfortable with the expenditures.
I would have to be, we talk off.
Okay,
we'll
that's
talk,
fine.
Okay, yeah.
Does that cover all the items, 39, 40, 41?
And if
We
you,
good with that?
if Joe's okay with spot fire and the
So
rest of.
I just have a very simple question. You said there was money in the budget. Where specifically in the budget, did that money come from?
Yeah, behind your letter, you'll see a list of the accounts. So the bulk of it was coming from retirement. So
That's what I want to hear, because the account are just numbers.
Yeah, I understand. So the bulk of it is from public safety retirement. We budget for an estimate based on what the state says we expect to pay, and then we get the real numbers. So in this case, they came in under budget.
Okay,
And
so
then
under
there's
retirement, okay.
there's also money that was
Okay.
for fees for the traffic light program that we have not expended. So I believe the accounts have
Appendix A.
a brief description.
It
Thank
is,
you. That
it
works.
is in the book in
Appreciate
Appendix
it.
A.
Thank you.
And, just to bring it, just the reason why these other two are separate is because spot fire is increasing a contract, Councilor Mitchell, to 250, by 250, and Sarah's involved with number 40. That's one of the reasons why we have to do those separate instead of, with the group.
All righty, we all set?
All set, Madam President, thank you.
All righty, Counselor Jones-Rouser.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 42 through 64. Item 42, we're going to continue to hold.
Joe?
Jake, did you want to say anything or no?
I think it's gonna
We're
be
good.
introduced.
We're just holding it.
Is it ready to be introduced and tabled, Joe? Or, I mean, where are we at with the local law, she's saying?
I thought Jake briefed her.
Yeah, I think it's still.
It's ready, it's gonna be
No.
held?
We're working on it with codes.
Oh, okay. I thought we were taking point.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe an update on Monday, we should have some. 43.
Afternoon, Councilors. Michelle Spansky, Deputy Commissioner of Neighborhood Development. Item number 43 is just a request to extend our existing pool of contractors for the emergency repair program for another 3-month period. We do have an RFP that will be published in the paper on Sunday and then available for folks to begin applying to early next week. But we just want to extend our existing pool in the meantime, just to ensure that we have some continuity over the winter months for that program. Any questions? Thank you.
44 through 64, foreclosure properties.
Yeah. Good afternoon, councilors. Caitlin Hubbard, neighborhood planner. 44 through 64, I'll request for transfer to the Greater Syracuse Land Bank. We're going to withdraw a couple of them, or a few of them rather. 45 and 46, both of the ones at Rose Ave. And then we're also going to withdraw 49 on the West Onondaga Street property. The property owner applied for a tax trust this morning. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that one still has to go to our tax trust committee because it is a vacant property, non-owner occupied. So it'll go to committee. There will likely, I mean, there are like various codes violations and things like that that would have to be paid on or closed out on the property before they can enter, but withdraw to give them the time to be able to do that.
Also,
55, the Bradford property. That's, I have a lot more information for you on that one. It's just more of a sensitive subject, longer story, so I'd prefer to talk to you offline. I'm gonna keep it on, but we'll talk offline or after this about it, if that's cool.
Is that the only one you have? That's it for you?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so I have 44.
Oh, 44, right. This one, I'm connecting with Land Bank on that one, just about the floodplain situation there. So
Yeah.
I'll let you know before the Monday vote session, obviously, if they're willing to accept the property.
And then 47, we talked about that being a recent sell.
Yes,
We needed to contact them, so we'll hold 44 and 47.
Yeah, we'll chat on that one.
Yeah. Thank you.
All set? All righty. Councilor Monto.
Item 55, and we will continue to hold that one.
Thank you. Councilor Majuk.
Thank you, Madam President. Any, I have item 66. Any questions? All right, that'll be all. Thank you.
And with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I
So
know.
I'm trying to see where.